What's up, guys? Welcome back to a video, and I just got back from watching Doorway Darling, the newest movie starring Harry Styles, Florence Pugh, Chris Pine, and Gemma Chan, and directed by Olivia Wilde. With this being like the new thriller, I thought it was okay and alright the type of film. It's especially with the movie's themes, especially with its tension and suspense. It's especially with it being about a husband and wife living in the 1950s. Palm Springs a lifestyle as well, and even with the ending and cliffhanger, definitely sets up for us to come, and even with some questions that definitely need to be answered as well. So and in this video, this would be my full review for Don't Worry Darling, and go over everything, and even especially going over the ending. I totally need some some questions and answered, especially for what's going to happen down the road as well. But if you're new here and enjoy something like this, then be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, so myself I'm visiting this in the future. So let's get into it. And now, for this movie, it's about a husband and wife named Jack and Alice, who are living in the 1950s lifestyle in Palm Springs, California. Just living the normal lifestyle and living under the what was called the Veggie Project, in which Alice's husband Jack is working for, especially with the Frank being in charge of the Veggie Project. And now, especially with Alice trying to dig through the cracks and like to try to figure out what's really going on, especially with having being suspicious and with the Veggie Project and what really going on, especially what the purpose of it was. And plus, with this new thriller, its tension and suspense, it could be on the edge of my seat the entire time. And with this having so much attention, as especially with Alice digging through the cracks, what's really going on behind the Veggie Project, what's really going on, is especially what was outside of the Veggie Project, as Alice was trying to go into the bunkers in which where all the men are work at, and even though with all of his tension and suspense, especially with Frank being in charge of the Victory Project, even as I was watching it, and this movie definitely ended with some questions that I definitely needed to be answered, especially with that cliffhanger, and especially for what was really going on. And plus, with the performances from Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, I mean, I enjoyed Florence Pugh's performance. I think she really carried up this movie, especially with the lines that she delivered, that she basically stole every scene, especially with the Harry Styles performance. Especially, it was all right and okay, but at the same time, but I thought it was really good as well. I thought the drama in this film that happened between the couple as well, and even though the controversy and all the drama that happened but behind the scenes of this film, especially with all that, even though with all the drama in this film, I thought the performances from all of them were really good, and even with the Chris Pine performance, I definitely enjoyed him, especially as the villain, and even with the Gemma Chan as well. And plus, for what really could be on the edge of my seat, and that's it in this film, especially with Alice's suspicion on Margaret, who was the girl who has seen terrible things, and even when she said if they're all being lied to, especially with Frank being in charge of the Veggie Project, and especially what was going on outside of the Veggie Project as well, especially what with the bunker, where the men work with the Margaret trying to escape it, especially in the desert, and then they bringing her son with them, especially with her son dead too, and with all the men. And I told the son to be punished as well. It even it had some horror vibes, and plus even with this movie, it definitely had some WandaVision vibes. It's because with Alice trying to dig the cracks of what was really going on, and that she should not seem and it doesn't seem what it expects. It's because with as a lie who I saw in WandaVision as a norm, it is also in this film too, and with this movie that we had some WandaVision vibes, especially with Alice trying to dig the cracks and investigating what was really going on with the Victory Project, and what was really behind all of it, especially with her trying to get out of the Victory Project, and trying to get her husband Jack to go with her too, and try to live their normal lives together, and plus this was a really good one, and at the same time it was all right as well, especially with that cliffhanger that definitely has some questions answered. And now, especially with the issues and flaws I had about this film, especially with this one sequence of Jack just dancing for his boss in front of everyone, and even with the dance sequence, which was randomly thrown in there, at which I was uncomfortable just watching it, especially with Jack just randomly dancing around, and even with some questions that were left to be unanswered, especially as we never got a whole backstory on Frank and why he created the Victory Project in the first place, and why he shot everyone there, especially as we never got more Margaret, especially and especially with her son too. And now, with the ending to Don't Worry Darling, we see Alice trying to get away from all the people, especially with all the security guards, and that want to take her back. We see this epic car chase, and that I think which definitely happened I think inside of all of all classic films, and plus with this being an epic car sequence, and even with the explosion that happens as well, and even especially because with Alice, she accidentally kills her husband Jack, and then we see Alice trying to go up into the bunker, and trying to figure out what was going on, and even with that, it turns out it was all just a simulation, and it's especially with Alice in her real life, she's not a housewife, she's actually a doctor who works I think works a long hours, and plus we see Jack and Alice living in their own lifestyle, and especially as we see Jack with a different hairstyle, and with him just listening to a random creepy podcast, and now especially the thing with this being called a simulation, and especially with even with the Shelley, she kills Frank, because with Frank, he was the villain and the one behind the Victory Project, and which definitely has some questions that I needed to be answered, especially with that cliffhanger. And overall, with the Don't Worry Darling, I think I enjoyed it. I thought it was an okay and alright and a really good type of film, especially with the good performances coming from Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Gemma Chan, and Chris Pine, and even though with this film having tension and suspense that I kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time, and even with the ending and the cliffhanger that I definitely having me watching answers, and also questions that I need to be answered as well. And even with this, I think I had a good time watching this movie, especially what was going to happen next, especially what was really going on behind the Victory Project as well. So yeah, I think I enjoyed Don't Worry Darling. I think this was a good one as well. So that's gonna be the first video. Live thoughts in the comments below. What are your guys' thoughts on Don't Worry Darling? Give me a rating between 1 out of 10. Do we get this video a like and subscribe to catch more future videos, and you can follow me on Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.